Welcome to SF Commercial Property Conversations with Bruce Bean, where Bay Area investments meet expert insights. Get ready to unlock the strategies of commercial real estate success.
So today we have Ryan Gautereaux with us, and Ryan has come out of the surfing world into commercial development. So Ryan, it's great to have you. I just want to kind of hear your history of how you got from teaching surfing on the beaches of California, Santa Monica, I assume, and then all of a sudden you're in the development world.
Oh yeah. Well, Bruce, thank you so much for having me. I mean, to start, right, the surfing world is amazing. Got to teach surfing, surf lessons in Malibu and Santa Monica, all over the coast, to Northern California and into Mexico. But started in high school, creating a surf camp and running a programming for kids anywhere between 8 and 14. We've ridden that basically through college while I was at USC. It was incredible. Got to set my own hours and go to the beach on the weekend. How can you be bummed with that? But got to go surfing a bunch, definitely, and found real estate in college, on in a real estate finance class with John Ayu, who's a massive broker at CBRE, and on the industrial side in El Segundo. He kind of sparked this passion for real estate in my eyes, and loved every single class that I took at SC. The network is real, it is true. The Trojan Mafia is definitely connected. But yeah, went to some great classes, and started networking out of it. But I knew that I really wanted to build something like I had done with my surf instructing company. And I want to build my resume, my expertise in the development space. So networked my way into getting a job in the commercial kitchen space, where we were really creating these big restaurants in tiny spaces. They're commercial kitchens, so they're anywhere between like 200 and 300 square feet in like a small TI space. And I was running the project management, procurement, project scheduling, contracting, and delivery of these restaurants all throughout the US. Delivered probably probably close to like 450 restaurants throughout the US. And then, learning through that and getting, a mix of different class, trades, subcontractor trades and general contracting trades. I wanted to pivot into the industrial space, where I, again, kind of used my network to get me to Dado Properties, where I am now. Dado's, it's a fantastic environment full of really, smart people, much smarter than I. But Dado is specialized in high velocity distribution centers, logistics and distribution buildings, and warehouse terminal yard development plays. I'm on the development team here. I've been here for 2 years, working as a development manager, project manager. And yeah, we are cooking. We've got probably built like 20 million square feet in our
Wow.
tenure. Yeah, we're obviously, we're still in construction on some items, or some assets down in Southern California, but we've got, assets in Northern California and Oakland, one that's breaking ground in Oakland in
Really?
the next few months. So yeah, I'm very excited.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Well, so you haven't got into the data center side of that equation?
No, not yet. Data centers are a whole other beast. I feel like there's a lot of people, asking that question. My brother-in-law is working at a data center development shop, and Yeah, I mean, it is a totally different beast, on, rental rates using kilowatts and
Yeah.
cubic storage. So it's a totally different game, but yeah, the data center life would be wild as well.
So how are you finding the world of finance these days?
Yeah, I think it's these times, I feel like from just what we've seen the last, month, kind of create a pause on investments on from the tenant side to the investor side to LP capital. That is you know entirely dependent on what kind of asset you're buying. We think, in Southern California, we've got such a great network of brokers, of tenant relationships, and we have Dart, Dart Logistics, which is subsidiary to Data, the Data family, running a trucking company for the last 70 years,
Oh, wow.
from Rod Dato, the former USC most winningest baseball coach at USC. So we
Oh,
have we have a really good relationship with some very close tenants and individuals where we think we can use their expertise and what they're seeing, in the present sense to make our decisions a lot easier, whether it's in site planning, whether that's in, making an acquisition and finding a price point at the best basis, the most realistic basis to get it capitalized. That's really the goal. We think that we've got, the strong partnerships and the good real estate, good assets that, keep us, separate us from the rest of the pack.
well, so have you seen any effect of tariffs hit you at all?
Yeah, yeah. On the development side, for sure, tariffs are the big question mark, and I think that's where there is that pause in decision making. How can someone put a bunch of capital to play if there's a risk of cargo shipments 20%, you know, 20% below where it was 2 years ago, 3 years ago. On the tariff side, it's again a question mark, right? Because we build and have to figure out what impact does this have on a pro forma. We again kind of lean in onto our partnerships and figuring out where there is risk involved to tariffs. We have to kind of incorporate it and prepare for it. But with the pause today, it could change tomorrow, and it could be a totally different story tomorrow. I don't know how that will work, but we're definitely thinking about it. We know everyone else is thinking about it as well, and we're trying to get ahead of it to prepare for both scenarios, the best and worst case scenario.
Well, so you're building or you're about to build a warehouse in Oakland. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we're entitled for a just under 12-acre yard
Well,
in Oakland. It's again going to be a Class A space with a maintenance space. Just under 7,000 square feet, 8,000 square feet of maintenance and office. It's primarily a trucking yard that will help users consolidate their space before sending it out to the east, and to I guess this more throughout the South Bay, and if they need to down to Los Angeles. But yeah, we're about ready to award. We're very excited to kind of kick off construction on one of these projects. And as I mentioned before, like we find that the asset type, the location of the asset, and the actual underlying real estate that we're building is the top of the market. We want to build the best Class A space in the logistics world, and we think that the tenants that are in this market who will ultimately need it as they expand and or decrease in size. So we're definitely bullish on that matter. We got a long way ahead because construction is always has its ups and downs, but yeah, the asset is great. I mean, it's in such a good location, right on the.
Can you disclose where kind of the area you're in? Are you down by the water or are you?
Yeah, we're right on the water. 4812 Tidewater is
Oh,
the Tidewater Ave is the address. Yeah, again, it's going to be a jewel to our market in Northern California, and as for the asset class and for our portfolio. I mean, we're thrilled to have ownership and development rights to it. So.
Well, tell me about how you find a site. I mean, it looks like you're up and down the coast here in California. So, for example, in the Oakland site, how do you decide that's the place you want to go?
Yeah, I mean, to any acquisitions analyst or associate out there, I feel like it's really just putting the time in and understanding where the market is pulsing, where development is gravitating to. I think right now it's really hard to get development deals greenlit just with how sellers value their real estate compared to how buyers value their real estate. So, on a location basis, it's really just a price per foot that, is being sold to the market and what the comps are sharing. We have a really, really strong database of assets that trade with our brokerage relationships and with, again, kind of the tenant feedback to the market, what they want, how we're planning for their needs, and where we can kind of find the pocket that they have a gap in. So I would say it's really, again, just centered to the location, what you're buying as a physical asset, and then how much you're paying for it. So we're doing our homework on all three fronts, right? We gotta do that analysis, figure out drive times, drayage costs from the port to where our building is, and where that potential truck is going to go next. That's the age-old question. So we're analyzing it all on all fronts.
So, do you hire some outside consultants to give you input on some of these locations?
Oh yeah. The consultant side, I mean, obviously to get one of these projects entitled, it takes an army. I mean, it's wild just the amount of hands that cross, or I guess folders that cross the desk. How many hands exchange paperwork, but we have great consultants in Northern and Southern California that are experts in that area. They understand the different jurisdictions, the different codes that are being required in 2023 to 2025, how those change. And we have to be analyzing those just to say, like, in our pro formas and underwriting. But yeah, definitely you can't do anything without the team behind you. Every team is as good as its weakest link. So we gotta have the strongest and sharpest tools in the toolbox to get us there.
So, how long have you been at it in terms of entitlement in Oakland?
Oh man, this was a long process. It's leased, so I think it would probably be like a 2-year process to get this entitled, 2 or 3-year process getting
Yeah,
this
yeah.
entitled. And then the plan check and going through the actual permit approvals process was probably another year, 6-7 months. But yeah, it's been a great time. I feel like it's like you run through so many OACs and architect meetings that you really become so infatuated with how a design is built and why we're making that decision. And again, it leads back to the same kind of thing that I hate to keep repeating, but it's so important. is like, what do tenants need in the marketplace? What are they looking at? Are they looking at, parking requirements? Are they looking at, a concrete versus an asphalt yard? Like it's a big difference to their decision making because they don't want to have to do maintenance. They don't have to stop operations once they get into the building. So we want to make sure that we're thinking through each decision and making, that educated, decision, to deliver a Class A product.
Well, yeah, if you're going for Class A, you don't want to be fixing an asphalt yard every 5 minutes, I'm sure.
Exactly. Exactly.
So yeah, it makes sense that that you would be wanting to put the right dollars at the right place. So it's always a juggling act, so to speak.
Yeah,
But
we're happy to be, on that front too, because it's great to collect data on that piece to what's being leased in the market, what like at what cost, at how much is that going to take to go from asphalt to concrete, and the operations kind of needed to do that. So we're tracking it carefully.
so did you say are you doing a ground lease at that location or are you acquiring the actual dirt?
So we own the underlying real estate. We leased it back. We have a tenant there now.
Oh,
And then yeah, the goal is to redevelop, shortly thereafter. And yeah, we're create
oh,
some.
oh, I see. You got a lease back situation, so you got income coming in during your entitlement period.
Exactly. We think that's probably the best bet to any redevelopment play at the moment. It just seems like you have to have some sort of cash flow coming in while you're going through the entitlements.
Yeah, and given that the market is pretty volatile right now, it can't hurt to have some income coming in.
Exactly.
So that's fantastic. Well, just for fun, what's your favorite sandwich?
Oh, I like a good Reuben. I'm a deli guy, so I like a good Reuben or um,
A nice patty melt?
yeah, like exactly a patty melt. Patty melt is good. Corned
Yeah.
beef. I don't know. I'm a sucker for deli.
That well, you got some good delis in that area. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
exactly. We do. We got some good spots, I'm sure.
That is true. And
What about yours? What's
pardon
your
me?
what's your favorite sandwich?
Oh, I don't know. Do you have a beach hut down there? I suspect you probably do. Is there a beach hut deli down there?
I've never heard of it. I gotta
Well,
check it
if
out.
you
This is
have,
on my
they
list.
came out of San Diego. Look it up, see if you have one around there. They kind of depend on who's running it. It's a franchise, but they have what's called a Santa Cruz sandwich, which is basically you can put bacon on it, but it's spinach and uh, a bunch of other things. They put some blue cheese on it, and you can put it on any kind of bread you want. Anyway, beautiful, beautiful sandwich to eat. So little
Sounds
balsamic
good.
vinegar, yeah, check it out.
Well, when next time you come down, when we get some volunteer work set
All
up,
right. Yeah, well, I'm looking forward. We'll see if we can put something together with Homeboy Industries. That would be great.
shout out Homeboy Industries
There you go. Can't hurt.
and
So,
all the rest of those nonprofits.
well, you did a lot of work with nonprofits, so that's very impressive. I think that's great.
Got to keep it rolling, man. Anything we can do to give back is the most important thing.
I agree totally, totally. Well, where can people get a hold of you, Ryan?
Yeah, so you can give me a call. We have a website, datoproperties.com. We've got a great team here. Anyone will answer the phone on the first or second ring, and please inquire about Data Properties, all the industrial space we've got, available, and we're excited to roll into 2025, 2026.
All right. Well, just out of curiosity, how many people work with Dato?
We've got 17 with us, and the team is, I mean, feel like we're all consolidated and in one, fluid movement. We're all thinking together and getting, I guess, Socratic type conversations to each and every decision. So we're a lean, mean team, but we've got a good group of really smart people.
It sounds like it. I mean, that's a nice size, not too big, not too small, and very synergetic. So I want to work with you. That's for sure.
Please, let's do it. Let's do some
All
work,
right. All
Bruce.
right. Well, let's keep in touch, and we'll see where we go from here.
Awesome. Well,
All
thank you
right.
so much, Bruce. Thanks, everyone else. Thanks, Fanny.
That's a wrap on today's journey through the SF commercial real estate scene. Ready to share your story? Visit sfcommercialconversations.com/guest. Your insights could lead the next conversation.